here. We'll say hello really quick.
Okay.
So
Good morning, kids. We are live today, a special edition coming in hot from Seattle, baby.
Hey.
We've got the Con kids up there at the Seattle office. We've got Dan Edlund and his awesome little better 99% Liz. And you know, hey Liz, I'm sorry, but I don't even know your last name. What is your last name?
My last name is Christian.
Christian, Liz Christian. I like that name. That's a great name. And so anyway, yeah, kids, we're coming live from Seattle, Washington, up there in the now is it the home office of Enagic, or is this something
we wanted to do it a little bit differently today because we're doing the business training. So we were going to do it from the office. So this is the local, they call it the Seattle office, but it's really located in Linwood, Washington. And if Liz wants to grab that computer, I'll give everybody the little 2-minute tour for everybody. If you haven't had the opportunity to come to the Seattle office, you should. We have amazing meetings here every Saturday at 1:15 to 1:30. Usually what happens is about a 1 hour, 45 minute water presentation. We take about a 5-minute break. We always show the business too. So if she will follow me this way.
HooDeeHoooo!
And what's cool here is they can walk in and actually it gives it a lot of credibility. They see all of our different offices around the world, all the places that we do business. Here's the monthly schedule. It's always put out in advance. So you can see 2 demos are already set up for Saturday. This is a business training we have. And people can put their name on the board to either take the big conference room, which we'll be going back into today, or the small conference room, which is right here. Here's where the technicians work. So tons of machines come in here and get cleaned.
Love it.
And like I said, it's a service center, so people can come in here. We're not going to be going in here today, but this is available to anybody who ever wants to do a small. Sometimes we'll come in here and do a small water presentation and use this board to be able to show somebody the business plan. You can see Enagic has these beautiful posters all along the wall, right? And this is the staff. Hello.
Hi guys.
Morning, kids.
This is all of the machines that we sell. This is everything that Enagic has right here. So all of the supplies, things like that. People can sit down here and do an order. They also have paper forms here. The neat thing about Enagic is they have 3 devices set up here, which allow anybody to come and get water for 30 days at a time. So you're allowed to come here. You can get 2 gallons of water every single day for a month. You can also come over to the super and get some 2.5 and 11.5. So, you know, that's why we know we have the strongest product in the world. You know, everybody always talks to me about other ionizers. There's not a single company in the world that will let you try this water before you buy it. Not a single one other than this. So we're very proud of that.
Hey, Dan, real quick, while you're still right there, back to the super. I'm really curious about that with the 11.5 and the 2.5, because I know that with my SD501, it usually takes about 30 seconds or so before the water gets to its slippery point on the 11.5 and its stinky point on the 2.5. Does that happen a lot faster and a little and more volume with the super?
Well, you can see your right here's your 11.5 and it's slippery right off the bat. It is configured a little bit different. There's more plates for producing this. But actually your strong acidic is coming out of here, so it produces a lot more strong acidic. You'll notice like with the K8 and the SD501 here, we get the strong acidic coming out of a small hose and it comes out in very, very small increments. But on this, it comes out of a larger hose. So yes, your 2.5 is dispersed very quickly. And that's why it's so good for restaurants, things like that want to use it as a sanitizing agent. So
yeah, and so one other little question. I know that the super has like 12 plates. Is it 12 plates that it has in it?
11.
12.
Oh, 12.
Yeah.
7
so it's really got 7 and 5, but it's so 7 for the strong, the 11.5 and the 2.5, and 5 for the drinking. So it's more geared towards people that want to use. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I didn't know that. That's freaking awesome. So, hey, we've already learned something new today, kids. Yay!
Hey. That's the point. How are you? So you can see for anybody that shows up at the local office, we have different things listed on everything from promotional events. This is something new that Enagic started this month. This is kind of cool for everybody. It has to do with direct sales, but like it's basically like if you do 4 direct sales in the next 3 months, you can be eligible for a $500 bonus, which is very, very cool. This is a flyer on the training that we do every Tuesday, a business training that Steve, Liz, and I put on. And then this is actually about the coming event in Waikiki in November. So people can always come in here, post up current events as long as they're Enagic related, and that's fine. Over here we have a sign-in sheet for anybody, like I said, to come get water anytime they want. Here is the local people that spend a lot of time in the office. These will be all of your 6A2s. These are 6A22s, and those are 6A23 and aboves at the very top.
Love it.
This is our wonderful staff, some of them.
Hi. Say hi. Working hard.
All our machines back here. And Naomi's shy, so we'll leave her back there. She's the branch manager that
Is amazing.
is amazing. And this is the actual room that we come to. You can see it'll seat a great amount of people. We have everything once again on the wall. We have the projector so that we can do PowerPoint events. And on a Saturday, you'll usually have anywhere from 30 to 70, 80 people here for a demo. So, you know, it's a terrific thing. And you know, what other company in the world, I mean, this costs us nothing. We get to come here, do whatever we'd like as far as it's Enagic related. We get to do promotional stuff, and we don't have to pay Enagic anything. I mean, they provide this office for us, so what a blessing, right?
Yeah, amen. Amen, brother. All right, so yeah, that's it. That's a great little tour of the Seattle office. If any of you people are up there in the Seattle area, any people that are going to be watching this as the days, weeks, months, years go by, you can jump on up there into Linwood, Washington and check it out. Go meet Dan and Liz and all the rest of the kids. You can meet them face to face. But hey, you know, this is a special edition show. We're doing something a little different than we normally do, but that's just all part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring value every single day, every day, 7 days a week. We want to bring value to the family that people can learn from, use, and help us to accomplish our mission. Because our mission is really super simple. We just want to change the world. And people might think that's kind of crazy, but we don't care about that because we know that it's crazy, and that's what keeps us from going insane. We are changing the world, kids. It's happening every single day. We get to see it all the time up there in Seattle with all the stuff that you guys are posting out. And, you know, every single day we get to see the world being changed, because the world is being changed one person, one family, one glass, as my good brother Sean would say. He wanted to be here, but he's traveling back to Idaho to go see his kids. And, you know, but one glass of hydrogen rich, oxygen saturated, incredibly hydrating, 9.5 water at a time, one lightning bolt in a box, one amazing family, one incredible guest, one awesome meeting and training at a time. So thank you guys so much for taking your time today to educate our family about some of the things that we're going to be able to learn, because this really is an absolutely incredible business. I think it's kind of, I never thought about the business when I first got involved with this company. I just wanted the water. I had 3 other businesses I was running, of which I've shut all 3 of them down now. One of them, my flooring thing, I still dabble in that a smidgen every now and again. Like right now, I'm in the middle of doing a tile job for a friend who needed some help. And but for the most part, I'm out of that stuff and I'm into this. And I didn't even realize what a powerful business and what Mr. Oshiro has set up is something that gives us so much incentive to help each other, to help not only people that are not in our downlines, that are not in our business, but also to help people that are in our business, that are in our downline, that we do get involved, become members of our own personal family, we have such an incredible incentive to help them. It's awesome. I mean, I've never seen anything like it in all the years that I've been looking for one thing after another, going after one thing after another over all these years. You know, I punched my last time clock when I was 19 years old. Now I'm 53 years young, and I finally have found the thing that I need to work on. I know it. I know it in my heart. I know it in my soul. I know it in my brain cell. Ha! It's time to rock and roll, kids. All right, Dan, why don't you rock with it? Let's see what you got to offer.
I just want to make sure that Liz really quick can look into that little thing for me and actually see that you can see very well what I see here. For the people that are watching it, and whether there's people on here or not, it'll be rebroadcast, but I'm going to try and explain it the best that I can. I'm going to go through a couple of different versions. The way that people come in with the machine, normally what people do is they buy a machine. Some people are very, very unaware of the business at all. So here's what it kind of looks like. Can you see this, JJ?
Yes.
Okay. So what usually happens is somebody will say to me, and by the way, you're right, life-changing water. And you said you've never seen anything like this on a compensation value. Well, especially with something that actually works. I mean, we have a product that actually works, and the money isn't what makes it amazing. The money is just a byproduct of something that's already amazing and life-changing. So the thing is, when you look at when you feel the impact of the water and you look at the compensation plan, you literally would be crazy to not share it. Because if I handed you the greatest gift in the world and I gave you, 10 of these pills, you're not just going to throw them in your pocket. You're going to share them with the people that you love. You're going to share them with the people you care about. And when the opportunity arises, you're going to share it with somebody who is struggling in some area of your life, that, not making a medical claim, but we know when we put this water in people's bodies, certain things happen. And that's just a fact. So the thing is, you're going to share it with the people that you feel that you can impact. And so most people are brought into this thing looking at the machine, not really knowing about the business. So I'm going to explain a little bit what that looks like. So let's say you have somebody out there and the first thing they say is, oh my God, this is so expensive. Well, it really isn't. If you have decent credit, if you have good credit, you can 0% one of these machines, and you come in with a standard machine anywhere from $27 to $55 a month. That's what I did. Okay. So think about how life-changing this is. And it literally cost me a tank of gas a month before I knew anything about the business. So here's what happens. On your first two machines, if you refer this and people start drinking the water and decide to purchase, you're given a referral or a thank you check of $285 for an SD501. That's what we're going to use today. SD501, SD501 Platinum. K8's a little bit different, but for today, what we're going to use is the increment of $285. Okay. On sales 3 through 10, somebody is given a check for $570. Now, I want you to remember, if I refer you and I refer Elizabeth, and you two go out and sell 20 machines a piece in the next 6 months, I'm credited with 42 sales, not 2. Because when I put these numbers out there, people go, God, I can never sell 20 of those things. It's accumulated sales. It's not all my efforts, right? So, and I'm just going to go up to 20 for people today, right? So on the first two, it's 285. On 3 through 10, it's 570, and 11 through 20, it's 855 per, right? So
now it's not. Hey, Dan, I've got a question right there. So the 11 sales, the 855, is that based on your own personal sale, or is that just any sale that happens in your group?
Okay, well, here you go. So it's where you sign people. So here, that's a good question. So if I come along and Liz is my first sale, and Liz goes out and sells 10 machines, I'm going to get 10 checks for $285. However, if I signed up JJ and he was number 7, you fall in this 3 through 10 category. So at number 7, I would get a check for $570 for selling you the machine. But if you ran out and sold 10, I would get 10 checks for $570. So good question. Now, the thing is, if I run along and somebody else, let's say Roger, I met, and he was sale number 13, and 11 through 20 falls in that 855, and Roger went out and sold 10 machines, I would get 10 checks for $855.
Wow!
Right? Now, it gets better, but I'm not going to go there, but I'll just very, very briefly, 21 through 50 is 1140, and then 50 through 100 is 1425. So if somebody can imagine the impact at only 21, 22, 23 sales, which can happen very, very quickly. I have a lady in my business who just went 6A. She's only sold 6 machines. But could you imagine meeting somebody at 21, 22, or 23 and not only getting $1,140, but if that person goes out and does 5, 7, 8, 9 machines that year, I mean, that's real money.
Yeah.
I promise, I don't care who you are or how much money you make. You walk out and find $1,140 in your mailbox, it's always a good day.
So Dan, you know, something I'd like to interject and ask you to address at this point in time, because yes, there's a good chunk of money here for distributors to be able to make, which, like I was just mentioning, gives us an incredible incentive to go out and help our people, to share this water with people. But there's one thing that I've heard quite a bit over the last couple of years is, oh yeah, the only reason that machine's so expensive is just so that all these distributors can make all this money in their pyramid scheme. How do you address something like that? Because, you know, there is a lot of money here. I know how I feel about it, but I'm curious what you feel about that kind of thing. And
so let's look at that in context to your everyday life, okay? The markup on the machine is around 48%, okay? I want to tell anybody out there that's listening, if you were paying 48% markup for everything in your life, you would have a lot more money in the bank. The pair of Nikes that I have on are probably a 500 to 700% markup. The phone that I walked in here today to give this presentation on is probably a minimum 900% markup. If you think you're doing yourself a favor drinking bottled water, that's probably somewhere between 12 and 2,500% markup. So the thing is, like I said with my Nikes, they were $135. They probably cost $8 to make, but you got to remember hundreds and hundreds of percents of markup are put on that because, you know, they're still paying Tiger Woods, right? And LeBron James. And believe it or not, Kobe hasn't played in the league in 4 years, and Kobe Bryant still makes $15, $20 million a year off of Nike. Not to mention Ronaldo, Messi, and a bunch of other people that I will never interact with in their life. And the thing is, I pay the markup for the marketing dollars for that person to obtain a 3rd, 4th, 5th mansion, right? But the thing is, there's very limited options in shoes. But the thing is, like I said, your phone, 700 to 900%. You go shop for clothes, it's very, very, very high. I work with a lot of people in the Nordstrom family, and you know, they can see this or like it or not, but they go, oh my God, if we made 40-something%, we'd starve to death. So the thing is, it's a matter of perception. And the thing is, then you go to look at things like, okay, other than, you know, throwing your life away and getting very, very little value, you know, what is your phone doing for you? The pair of shoes that you pay 700%. So the thing is, people don't even understand, and you know what, and it's okay that they say that because they truly don't understand the value of the machine. And most of the time when they've done that, it's because we haven't had the time or the opportunity to properly introduce and edify the machine. Because the thing is, if you take somebody through the process of a proper demonstration, 3 or 4 videos, really making them understand the value of the 2.5, the 11.5, the cleaning properties of this water. They say that statement because they don't know, but they don't really understand how much money this machine can save them. You know, Daniel DiMicala says it best. He says, you know, if you buy a bottle of water, you buy it every single day and you get very little benefits. If you buy something like this, you know, it's a one-time purchase. You buy that same bottle of water, it does nothing for your life. This gives you every opportunity in the world, from tax advantages to 1,000 other things. Not throwing away plastic bottles, but it's people's perception. And usually when they say that, it's because we haven't, I don't want to say done our job, but we haven't had the time or the opportunity to properly show them the benefits of the machine. Because when we show them all the ways they can save, they'd be crazy, because if we sit down and do the real math, they're already spending the money, they're just getting none of the benefits.
yes, amen, brother. And that's, you know, the key word there is the opportunity, because it's so incredible how many people will not give you the opportunity to show them. Like yesterday, I went to the grocery store and there was a guy buying distilled water, and I said, hey, you're not drinking that, are you? And he said, oh, no, I'm putting it into my Keurig coffee maker machine. I'm like, well, you are drinking it. But, here, I'm going to give you this gift. And he wouldn't even take it. My business card, he wouldn't even take it. No, not interested. Hey, that's what we deal with, whatever. What we can feel good with ourselves about, at least for me, I feel like, hey, at least I tried. At least I gave you the opportunity, and if you don't want to take the opportunity, that's up to you. So anyway, yeah, with that said, Dan, I appreciate you interjecting.
We can only.
What's that there, Sean?
We can only lead a horse to water. We can't dunk his head in it.
Amen, brother. Amen. So yeah, go ahead and continue. I just wanted you to kind of elaborate on that because
for sure.
There's a lot of money right here, and people who don't understand, they're like,
yeah.
No wonder that damn machine's so expensive. No, look at all that money they're paying out to their distributors.
Well, and that's another thing with our society. It's like, they would rather make sure that a LeBron James or a Tiger Woods has a fourth 25,000 square foot house. And for some reason, they're okay with that rather than helping their neighbor. I mean, it's a referral-based world we live in. Social media has made the world very small. If somebody comes up to Liz and says, oh my God, didn't you guys go to this restaurant 2 nights ago? And we go, yeah, but Liz goes, the food was horrible, the service was this, the da-da-da-da. Are they gonna go? No. But the thing is, if they decide to go, is that restaurant gonna do us a service and cut Liz a check? No. And the thing is, why not? People are listening to what you say, or in some cases they're not, but why not? What's wrong with somebody saying, hey, here's a thank you check for spreading the word, right? As opposed to giving somebody else umpteen millions of dollars, and they don't have any problem paying $135 for a $6 pair of shoes. But the thing is, for some reason, and when it comes from the neighbor or a friend, or especially when it's something they haven't heard of, it raises this natural human defense mechanism of ignorance to where if I don't know about it, it must not be real or worth my time. But you go back through history, and some of the people that were the most scoffed at, the most, made fun of, things like that, ended up being some of the biggest people that changed the world. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that the people were telling the Wright brothers that they could never fly, and then we just were in a plane going 650 miles an hour over the ocean for 18 hours going to Bali. That's a big difference. So if we listened to everybody that was out there and we let their excuses run our lives, we wouldn't have much of one.
Yeah, amen. About that, excuses. We talked about that yesterday on the show. Kids, go check out that that episode. It's up there on YouTube. All right, Dan. So continue on, brother. Let's continue on with this business training.
So what we're going to do is we kind of went through the model of what goes on as far as coming in with just a machine. And like I said, if somebody has good credit, you should be able to just get it in your mind that any one of these machines, so the SD501, if you walk into the Seattle office, is around $4,400 after tax. But you can just put a little dot right there and think of $44 a month for the first 15 months. And what I try and do is show people, and if we have the opportunity to share this with 7, 8, 9 people in that 15 months, you basically end up with a free device.
Yeah.
Right? But here's the other part of it. So that's going to somebody who's machine only. And can they see this really well? How about this? Can you see this, JJ?
Yep, we can see it.
Do you need Liz to move it over a little bit?
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
See it this time.
But here's a different way to approach if you have somebody that's very, very involved in the business, that wants to be. And this is what we try and show people, because you end up like somebody like Sean, you end up being able to have long-term control of your business, take hold of your rank by your own works and the works of the people around you, instead of technically waiting to find that golden goose, right? To find that person that's a 6A and can sell 100 machines. So when somebody approaches Liz and I and they're business minded, this is the structure that we would suggest. Because let's say over here your cost is $4,400 or $44. We can take the same thing over here for around $9,500. And yeah, that sounds like a lot, but put this little dot there. And for $95 a month, here's what I can show them. So here's what I would suggest to you. You come in, you buy a spa, right? You buy a machine from yourself, and you buy the KONGen. That way you're taking advantage of all of the Magic's amazing products, and you're also getting to take maximum effect of the business plan. And here's why. And some people say to us, well, why do you do that? Okay, well, if you buy the machine and then you buy the spa from yourself, you get back a check for $185. But if JJ is entrusting me with his life and his business and that of his family's welfare, I'm going to have him buy the spa first, because down here he's going to get a check instead of $185 from himself. He's going to get a check for $285 right away, right? You're also going to get a check back from yourself for the KONGen, but in doing this, we accomplish a couple different things. These first two sales that you needed to get out of the way, you just did from yourself. So what happens when JJ goes out over here and sells that first machine, it's $285. But when he's been what we call structured correctly over here, if JJ goes out and calls me 2 weeks later and goes, I've been sharing with my neighbor, oh my God, he wants to get one, his acid reflux went away, or whatever his situation may be, instead of getting a check for $285, he's getting a check for $570. And why is that? Because he is getting that 1A sale that we talked about over here, down here, but he's also getting a point up top. So this is where it changes things dramatically, because you never know when lightning is going to strike. The lady that I told you that went 6A in 6 machines, the very first person she ever introduced me to is probably going to be the first 6A2 in my business. So when I showed her this, and then I showed her this made sense. But it was a terrific decision on her part, because what she was done is every time he sold a machine, she was paid down here and paid up here.
Yeah.
So on the very first sale, instead of $285, you get $570, right? Now at number 3, we jumped to $570 over here, but at number 3 over here, it's $855, right? Because as a 2A down here, you're getting 2A here, and you're picking up one more up here for 3 of the 8 points. That's life-changing, because you can only have your 3rd or 4th sale, and like I said, you never know which person's going to take off and do this business. But if this person runs off and goes and does 10 machines in the next 6 months, that's 10 checks for $855 instead of 10 checks for $570. And here's the key to this. If somebody really thinks they want to do this long-term 3, 5, 7-year business plan, this is the biggest no-brainer in history, because not only do you get executive control, so you have a guy like Sean, who I think is listening, and he's sold hundreds of machines, but he's a 6A. And what happens here is when you take executive control of your business, you're in control of these different business centers, to where not only can you optimize the pay plan, but if I come along and meet a guy like JJ and I think he's going to do incredibly well, and this is doing well, I can go over and balance my structure out, because the objective is to get this to 6A, correct?
Yeah.
At 100 sales. But what a lot of people don't understand is, what we can do is we can maybe have 40, 50, 60 sales in this, and that entity starts taking off, because I've got JJ and he's selling a bit, and I've got Liz and she's doing it, and Sean's doing it, and all those people are right here. And this is at 40, 50, 60, and it's moving on its own. Well, I come over here and start building, right? I leave this alone because you guys are taking care of this side. And what happens is, let's say this is at 70 and this is at 30. Well, what does that make this? It makes it 6A. But here's the thing. I go 6A here, and Enagic's nice enough to give you a $3,000 bonus. But the other thing that happens is, these things are now building. I can look at my business on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and say, where do I need help in the balance? Because what happens is, this is at 70 and this is at 30, right? And this kind of happened for me. But the funny thing is, the 30 went 6A before the 70. Right? That's what happened in my situation. So what happens is, let's say this is left at 30, and this does go from 70 to 100 first. Well, what you just did again went 6A down here, right? And let's say when this went 6A, 100 sales, this thing had climbed to 82, okay? Well, I'm 18 sales away from going 6A, but more importantly, that when these two things go 6A, that gives me the ability to go 6A2 up here.
On your own, off of your own business.
Right, because I know people that they'll say, oh, I've got 432 machines sold. And I'm like, wow, what's your rank? And they're like, well, I'm 6A. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. And then we'll sit down and no, I never heard anything about the structure. I never knew anything about that. And I start thinking to myself, how could you sell 450 machines and be 6A? But if you have, we both know this happens all the time. You have a ton of people who are 1 or 2, barely share it with anybody. You have a lot of people that'll do 5 to 10. You may have 40 people in your business that have done 20, but that means that's 40 people who never went 6A. So I can keep continually going back and reevaluating. So I meet somebody like Liz 2 years into my business and I say, where do I want to put her, right? I have what they call executive control. And instead of JJ out there sifting and sorting and waiting for somebody to take this to the next level and decide to, do the work to become a 6A, he can just say, well, I'm 82 here and I'm 46 there. I just met somebody who I think is going to do this. Obviously, they're going right here. And then the next person, and you can just go back and forth and build. So I'm going to take this out a little bit for you, but here's what happened to me. So when this went 6A, this goes 6A. Well, what happens is when this went 6A down here, we know what an adjunct does, don't we? They give you a $3,000 bonus, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. But what they also did was give me $6,000 for going 6A2. That day right there almost paid for everything I bought years before. Yeah, even if it hadn't paid for itself 20 times over by then, 30 times, 50 times over. But the thing is, this is the maximum way to retain control because, and I don't want to go out too far for the people that don't understand it yet, but if this is 6A and this is 6A, making this 6A2, what do you think ultimately my next objective is?
To get someone else under there to go 6A.
Oh, well, no. I want to drive both of my centers to 6A2, making me 6A2-2. But the difference is where someone like Sean, who maybe didn't hear about it or something, they can have 300, 400, 500 machines out and not have that. But this way, if you bring in somebody correctly and show them, they can be 6A2 in 202 machines.
Wow.
So the power of that is monthly bonuses, quarterly bonuses, things like that. I mean, so if you, and the only reason I'm saying this is because people don't have this information and you want to show them this because like somebody like Sean maybe wasn't shown that, but there's a lot, I bet he's thinking back right now and he's thinking, man, I left a lot of money on the table, right?
Yep.
But this is more for your people, and now more than ever, because of the economy and the way things are changing, this is the one thing I've learned. Don't just show people the water and assume that they don't want to know anything about the business. I get people all the time, and they go, oh, yeah, no, I didn't really show her the business. I don't, she's this, she wouldn't be interested. How do you know? There you go, you. You know what I told the guy when I finally bought my machine? I'm never going to talk to anybody about water. Never. Why would I ever do that? I have a good job. I have a good life. I appreciate the device. It's amazing. I love the products, but come on, man. I'm not going to talk to people about water. So we can't let our limiting beliefs or other people's, we have to at least put this out there to at least let people know, right?
Amen, brother. Amen. Yeah.
So
I've got a question for you here at this point. Because you've got in your little trifecta there, you've got the spa first, the machine, and the Ukon. Does it really matter one way or the other? Is there an advantage to putting the spa first or the machine first? And
okay, forgive me if I didn't cover that, but that's what I was saying is if I come to you and I say, Jay, and you go, Dan, I'm all in. I've got the credit. I applied with Citibank. They gave me 21 months, 0%. They gave me a $12,000 card. The whole thing cost $9,500. And if I come to you and I go, okay, JJ, well, you know, let's get a machine. You get a spa from yourself and an Ukon. This is how a lot of distributors are going to set you up. But here's what happens. When you buy this spa from yourself, you get a check for $185, right? Correct?
Yeah.
But if I go like this, and if my interest is doing business with you for the next 15 years, and I just brought you on as a business partner, and I say, yeah, but here's the deal. Let's put the spa here, and instead of 185, you buy the machine from yourself, you get 285 back. So I'm just putting in a little extra money in your pocket.
Right.
For sure. 1 second, Liz wants to say something.
I'm going to come in real quick too, because so you're getting $285 back from yourself and $100 back from yourself. If your monthly payment's $95 a month, you've got payment for the next few months to, you know, try the water out, have your experience, start making your payments, start meeting people. It's giving you a little bit of time too right there. But it's really important to have the Ukon attached to your main source, because the Ukon is what's going to keep your business regenerating. After 90 days, if you don't have a sale, we go into an inactive distributorship and our commissions go down. But every 90 days, our Ukon renews, keeping this initial business center alive.
Good point.
Right. That is a great point. And also, you get a check for when you buy that Ukon from yourself, you get a check for buying the Ukon as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's what she was just talking about right there with the $100.
Right, and the $100, but the difference between getting yourself back a check for $285 and $185, I just got you a month of your payment for nothing. It's just how I structured you. Now, you know, if you want the person to do business with you for the next 15 years and you want to bring them in correctly and you know this information, how could you not, you know, at least offer that to them? Because the thing is, when you get very well versed in a Enagic and find out later, you're going to come to me and go, hey man, why did we do the machine up top? I could have got an extra $100 back for myself, right? And you may not say that, but the thing is, if you're entrusting me with your livelihood and your business, that's the right foot for me and you to start on. Hey, let me put an extra $100 in your pocket right off the bat.
And they also need to make sure they keep their Ukon good for that 1 year, so they get the full distributorship of that, because they don't get distributorship of that until it's paid for that 1 year time frame, unless they do the stigma, which is the 2,000 right off the bat, and they're done. 1,000%,
you're correct. Now,
hold on a second. That brings a question to my mind. So the Ukon position, a person doesn't have to keep that active for forever to keep getting paychecks from it and keep it. They have to keep it active every 3 months or every 4 months?
Here's the deal. You need to keep the Ukon open and paying on it for 1 full year for it to be a vested business center.
Uh-huh.
You know, you go buy a machine, it's a business center of that minute. You go buy a spa, it's the same thing. If you buy an Ukon and you're working deals under it and 7 months later you don't pay or you let it cancel, it is no longer a business center and it never truly was. So all of that essentially goes away. So you do need to keep it for 365 days if you're making payments. And obviously if you pay in full, it's not an issue. They're going to go to renew it after a year and you just say, I don't want to renew my business. But then you brought up a good point. You still have to keep active sales underneath it. So we won't get too much into that today, but what I do is I have my main business and I run 2 Ukons down, and those are my 6As, and I just keep those things going, and they keep, so it doesn't matter if I sell a machine in Serbia, Seattle, Washington, or Wisconsin, I get a full paycheck, because you don't want to, you know, my 90 days here, my 90 days there, my current here, my active there. It's just, I've just found that's the best way. I can share the product with the people that buy with me. I can give somebody a box of Ukon to try and see if they want to implement it in their life. And it's just the easiest way to keep the whole thing moving.
And you can write it off.
And you can write it off because it's a business center, right?
So you can write off the Ukon too, correct?
For sure. Absolutely, 100%. So we've kind of shown you, we've given you some tips on how to really, really bring in somebody that wants to be strong. And we've kind of shown you what it's like to bring in somebody just from scratch. But Liz is going to take a quick second, and she's going to show you, if you say, well, you know what, I bought my machine, and I really didn't have any intent in talking. Here you go, bud. Oh, where's that pen? But I really didn't have any intent of talking to somebody about it. But now here's the crazy thing. I'm at 16, 17, 18 sales, because this is what happened to me. I just kind of, it organically happened. And the only reason I had everything is because I realized when I saw the demo how off my health was. And that's what I still say to people in all the time in the demos. When they say, yeah, but I think I'm all right. I'm like, you don't remember how good your body was designed to feel. We forget, we become complacent. And when I saw that, I started to realize, wait a minute, I don't want this chlorine on me. And the HooCone was helping me with my joints. I felt really good. The water and the HooCone together was just like paradise for my body. So I had all three, but I kind of fell into that. But what we want to teach you today is, if you're somebody out there and you really didn't think you ever were going to do the business, but some things have kind of organically happened. So maybe you find yourself at 7, 11, 12, and we just want to teach you how you can kind of come in, correct that, and maximize on the Enagic pay plan and make yourself the most money. Because what we know is the more money you make, the more chance you have for freedom, and the faster we can get you away from that 9 to 5 that's sucking the life force out of you. And the thing is, so we want to just give somebody a little tip that's not that expensive. It's not gonna take all their finances, but it's a way for them to truly correct themselves kind of midstream if they want to really add to their income. So we're gonna go 4x4.
So we call this the 4x4. This is what I'm doing. So if you come in with a machine.
Can you see that okay, JJ?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Do I need to move it at all? We good?
Like Dan said, with the SD501, it's about $44 a month. And organically, you just kind of let the first business center grow. And you bring it out to a 4A, which is 21 sales. Now, at 21 sales, our machine's already paid off, right? Actually, at about 10, our machine's already paid off. So we have 11 checks that have come in that can go towards the next business center. So at 21 sales, this is where we come in and purchase our next business center, which we suggest at HooCone, to keep it alive. And we can start building under there. So up here, we're at 4A. At 21 sales, right? So we build under this HooCone to 21 sales, taking the HooCone to 4A. That's the 4x4. So within 42 sales, we're getting 8 pieces of the pie, right? We're getting 6A money at about 32 sales, right? So we're coming in for $44 a month. We add the HooCone, so that's going to add another, how much per month?
Depends how you finance it, but it's minimal for the raise you're giving yourself.
But we're able to afford it, right? Because we got this business center going and we've saved up some money. So at 42 sales, getting 8 points, which is about $2,200 a sale on an SD501. Now, that's big money in a low amount of sales, sometimes short amount of time, sometimes long, but it doesn't really matter at this point because both of our business centers are paid for. Right? Because there's 6As out there that are only getting 6 points, but we can have 4As out there getting 8. That makes sense. That's what we want to teach people. And I want to go back just for a minute and say, about the, the markup on the machine and this and that. Mr. Oshiro's setting us up to be teacher-student. That 47% or whatever is going to the teacher to create this, the teacher and the student. It's to hold each other's hands. And there's a lot of distributors out there that aren't about that, haven't been taught to be a mentor and stuff. And so that's what we're all about right now, is we want to see the students succeed and become the teacher, because that's that's pushing us all up. You know, we're all raising up together. And this is one way that we can take a student to a teacher pretty quick.
Right. And I know that you know, she jumped through that pretty fast. But the thing is, if people realize that if they do this for themselves at 21, on only their third sale underneath this, they've essentially given themselves a $570 per machine raise, right? So if JJ comes along and JJ's, you know, running this program and he's got a couple people, and then all of a sudden he decides to do that, and his third sale is the guy that wants to run off and really take this thing by the reins and go run with it. And you know, JJ's getting, you know, $1,700 a machine now at 23, 24, 25 sales. What happens if this guy runs off and does 10 machines in the next 6 months? You know? You know what I'm saying? But the difference here, with that extra 570 or 855 a machine that happens very, very quickly for you could be the difference between you getting up and living somebody else's dream or having your own.
Wow. Absolutely amazing stuff, Dan.
Does anybody out there have any questions about anything we've covered? Because I really want it to be very, very clear, and you know, we're running really good on time, but I'd like to really clarify if anybody has any questions.
I put on the Facebook Live, I asked anybody if they, let's see, if anybody has any questions. And so far, nobody has any questions. So you guys, if you have any questions out there on the live,
Sean doesn't have a comment?
ask them.
Come on, Sean.
Anything to say?
Now this, what he's teaching right here is the same thing that what got me to 6A within 7 months. This is the same way that I structured. I learned from Blaj, this same exact step that he's doing right here with the trifectas, and talking to people about all the products at one time and not trying, you know where they're at when you're communicating with them. You know where they're going to be going into, you know, whether it's just a machine or it's the full trifecta. But teaching them the structure of, and then walking them through the process of just getting into the backside of Magic to where the paperwork's at, where the tax calculator's at. A lot of distributors are lacking on that. So that's why I'm loving this message y'all are giving out today, because this is the way I have structured my team and my community to be able to do this. So kudos. Thank you.
No, we appreciate that. And the thing is, you know, we have a lot of people and we're working on educating them properly, but they'll be like, well, I didn't want to show them all that because it costs so much. Don't be the determining factor for the people that you're talking to, because the thing is, if they come into an AGIC and they actually get some traction and it goes down the road, they're going to see this anyway, and they're going to go, man, look what my life could be like. I mean, I literally have sat down and talked to people that have left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table.
Yes. I mean, don't prejudge. I mean, because if you're a prejudger of someone, then you're in the wrong business. Because no matter the way I dress, the way y'all dress, what I drive or live in, you never know what the person or how much money they truly have. They just got an inheritance for millions of dollars that you have nothing about. And they live this lifestyle all their life and they're not changing. Yeah, they got more money. Cool. I met a man that went into his back office. Didn't know it was an office back there because there was chickens running in and out of the house, screen door. And I was like, okay, talking to this man, I didn't prejudge. He walked out with a coffee can full of $100 bills and said, I want it all.
I want it all.
You never know. So don't be a prejudger, guys.
Yeah.
And on the other side of it, in my particular case, I wish I would have known about this right out of the chute, because, you know, I didn't find out about the UConn and the additional abilities for income until, you know, a good year in.
Right.
Before I finally bought my UConn position. I'm still working on trying to get myself in an SBA. But, you know, had I known this in the very beginning, instead of just buying the the SD 501 that we bought with our own money,
right,
I would have, you know, if I would have heard that it's $9,500, or if you do 0% interest credit, it's $95 a month. And then I would have had the whole trifecta right out of the chute. We would have had UConn and, you know, and had this whole setup, but I didn't know anything about it. And now, considering where I'm at now at a 3A position on my UConn and a 1A position on my machine, I just sold a K8 and got 4 points. So I made $1,360 off of that one sale, and that did not suck at all. I actually needed that money. Yeah, you know. But I didn't know.
Right.
I didn't know. We don't know what we don't know, right? And that's what we're all about here at the Kong family.
Well,
we want to share that so they can know what they need to know.
Well, and for that's why we really do this. So we're really showing this is how people normally come in. This is how we really want people to come in if they're strong and they really want to do the business and they really think so. And then we also have this for people to correct midstream, because the thing is, you know, we want everybody to have that executive control, you know, and we want everybody to have that 6A2 rank and above, where you're getting a monthly check every month for the volume underneath you. And you're also getting a quarterly check for the volume that's been done in the last 3 months. I mean, that's a huge thing to walk out to your mailbox every 3 or 4 months, because I'm not going to lie, you forget about it and you go, oh, wow, quarterly, you know, volume bonus. And you're going, huh, well, that's the big difference between 6A and 6A2 is that as a 6A, you don't get that. And so what that does, that pays you for all of the volume underneath you. And as your business grows, I mean, let's be honest, there was guys in San Diego, they're getting volume bonuses on 800 machines a month, 1,200 machines a month, 2,000 machines a month, you know. And so you want to be structured correctly, that so when your business, you know, as your business grows, you're receiving all of that.
Okay, so Dan, I have another question for you. I got a couple of people in my group that they just came in with a machine. Now, I didn't know any of this stuff ahead of time, and I'm definitely going to make sure that they get this recording so that they can see what they're missing out on. Now, this person that just came in with a machine, what is their best opportunity? Where if they see this, what's their best opportunity to be able to, because I know one particular person, he paid for his machine right out of his own pocket, didn't use any credit or anything. And, you know, after seeing what you're probably going to show right now, what, you know, explain to him where he can roll with this.
Well, so here's the thing, you know, and it's the conversation is obviously based on the individual, but if you're talking to me about an individual who goes, JJ, I have this, I feel amazing, I want to share this with people. Is that the kind of person we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, because, so if you take something like a spa, and let's say that's out the gate, right? Some people, you know, you can pay cash for the machine, but some people are like, well, I spent a lot on the machine, but why don't I finance, right? So you can go, that's the Ukon, this is the spa, right? So you're basically $54 a month to finance the other two. Here's the interesting thing. If the person has good credit, so you go, well, that's $54 a month for the first 15 months. Now, the only trick, we need to get you 10, 11, 12, 8, 9, 10 referrals will offset 85, 95% of the cost of the machine. I mean, people end up loving the device so much. I mean, you think they get mad after a year if they go, oh man, only 91% of that thing was free. No. They wouldn't sell it back for $7,000. They love it, right? So what happens is we can show them how to finance these other two parts for $54. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. He gets 185 from here and 100 in here. You just made his first 3 payments for him. And he gets to take advantage of the technology, not be bathing in chlorine, have the effects of the Ukon. And when he shares his very first sale, he'll get $570. $570 takes care of a lot of $54 payments. And I know what people say, well, 54 times 14 or 15 or 54 times 21 doesn't cover the cost. No, but if we get some referrals in there, we can offset a lot of them. I mean, I did my whole thing like I initially showed you over here for the 90, I think my payment was $97 a month. I did 21 months, 0% through Citibank. And I basically kind of figured out, well, if I do 9, 10, and 11 in that first 21 months, then my device will end up being free. And I did 22 sales in the first 12 months. Well, my equipment was free by then, long been free, and I was so many thousands of dollars ahead. So do you think I was mad looking back and going, all of it ended up being free anyway? So especially when you're talking to somebody who really, so here's the way I phrase it to people. I go, now, what did you love the most? Oh God, the vegetables, this, that, and the other. Okay, being a mom. I know you don't want to do this for business, but being a mom, don't you have somebody that you would want to share this with? Oh my God, I can think of 3 or 4 girlfriends right now with kids that would want to see this. Okay, so if it's going to be free over here and it's going to end up costing you nothing over here, why not have it all?
So one more question
For sure.
on this subject where we're at right now. So you come in, you've already got your machine, and then you end up doing the other 2 things, and you got your $54 a month payment, and you make that first sale of an SD501 or in this case we're using SD501s. Where do you put that sale? Do you put it under your UConn or under your spa, or do you put it under your machine?
Under the UConn.
You put it right there, and then you get 285 there and 285 there. That gives you your $570.
There you go.
You structured it underneath the UConn.
Correct. Can you see that?
Same way if you put it under the spa? What do you get if you were to put it under the spa?
The exact same thing. The reason we don't want to do that is because this UConn for the next year keeps everything active. And what happens is if your friend runs off after 105 days and sells something and this isn't active, right, then you're not going to get paid in full on that deal. So what I always tell people is, let's just focus on the UConn for the first 20 to 50 sales.
The way I kind of structure the Anespa system to people is that's like an accessory.
Mm-hmm.
That is like an option you bought for a vehicle. It's not on the main game, but it is good for you,
Right.
So kind of like that right there. So that way I throw everything towards the UConn, like he's saying, and the it's like you got to upgrade on your thermostat in your house for your air conditioning, an accessory.
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it. And to be honest with you, JJ, I've had my business for as long as I've had it. And I will be honest with you, I went here, started taking everything out. I've never in my entire life have put a single sale underneath my spa, ever.
Not one.
So you can actually put it under here.
And you don't
You
even
can
need
actually
to
put the spa right here if you want.
So
But
your
the thing is,
comes with 2 legs too.
Yeah.
right. But what I ended up doing is once I took this out to 50, 60, 70, and I thought it had enough traction, I left that spa completely alone. I went and did another UConn right from the top. And that was my 2. I just look at it as 2 cyclones that just constantly keep circling, keeping everything active so that Dan doesn't have to worry about it. So if me and her go spend time somewhere or something, I'm not having to worry about who's active, who's not. And it's just.
That's the way I structured mine. I went 2 UConns underneath my main machine.
There you go.
That way right there, I have the power of that 6A. I built it. It got there. So now that makes me the 6A too with the other 2 that are from there. So that's why I structured mine that way.
So you don't have to sit and wait for 2 amazing people to come along. You can just, as you get them, place them accordingly, and you're in charge of your own destiny, which a lot of people aren't.
Wow.
But what's going to happen is financially, the difference for him on the first 500 machines versus not being structured correctly is a lot of money that he's not going to leave on the table. So when we're talking about this stuff, it's paying for itself 10 times over anyway. Why not have all the benefit? Because, I tell people, if you haven't tried the spa, you're going to love it as much as the machine. I mean, you really are. It's life-changing. Life-changing. So.
Yeah, I need to get that spa for my sweetie. I know she's got really sensitive skin. Even though we have really good water coming into our house, it doesn't have any chlorine or fluoride in it.
Wow.
It's still got, who knows what. And I think that if she were to get the mineral bath from the UConn, from the Japanese, springs, whatever, I still got a lot to learn about that, the whole UConn thing. I want to do some more shows on that. But I know for people out there that are listening to this, I want to give my own personal testimony in that I bought my machine with my own money. And I tell people all the time, I have 2 regrets. I wish I would have bought the K8 instead of the SD501 because the extra $1,000 in the long run is like nothing. And then And the other side is, I wish I would have used somebody else's money instead of
Why
using
not?
my own money. I have good credit. I have great credit. I wanted better credit. I
Yeah.
should have used a dang 0% interest credit card. And had I known this whole trifecta situation,
Sure.
I would have went for the full $9,500. I would have bought all 3 business centers all in one. I would have used somebody else's money to do it. I would have kept my money in the bank to pay the payments with. As it turned out, I really didn't even need that money to pay those payments with, because it was about 6 months before I started working the business. But once I started to tell people about it, the dang thing would have paid for itself. And if I would have
100%.
known this, we don't know what we don't know, though. And I know for a fact I would have done something quite a bit different had I known. And I know that Tim would have told me had he known. Maybe he didn't know, and that's why he didn't tell me. But he did end up telling me later on. And so I'm in the position where I'm at from only 21 sales, and I'm getting 4 points off every machine I sell. So, I can definitely see the power of it. But now I'm so grateful to you guys for coming in here today and giving us this little lesson, because this is powerful stuff that we can share with people that are curious, they're interested, they're right on the fence, whatever. They're trying to decide what way to go about it. Wow, is this ever powerful stuff right here?
Well, I'll tell you what, and we're glad that you appreciate the tidbit. And we found out, and it's awesome information for everybody. But we could probably do a whole entire another show on who to go to for that credit. Like, I just sent somebody to Wells. Amazing right now. Wells is doing 1.5% back on the purchase. And if you spend over $2,000 on the card, and anybody who's buying a machine is going to, they're giving you a $200 bonus. So my guy goes in, spends $5,000. They give him 80 something dollars back on the purchase. They give him a $200 bonus because he put $2,000 on the. There's all kinds of ways. I mean, and I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole, but that's why people that have money, because they know little different things to utilize other people's. And my thing is, hey, 0% for 21 months. I'm not ever going to sell any of these things, but why should I come out of $9,500 on my money? Who knows? Maybe the crazy guy that showed me this stuff is right, and I end up doing a couple. Well, I ended up doing 22 of them in the first year, and it never cost me anything. But there is things out there. I mean, Citibank has gone, they're down to 18, but they also offer a 2% on everything card. So you can get 2% of the entire purchase back. There's bonus incentives out there and if you're somebody like you or how I was, take advantage of your good credit. I built my whole business, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of income, and it never cost me a penny.
Wow.
It never cost me a penny. And so, why not? I mean, if you have, the credit is something you're supposed to utilize to your advantage. And if people don't think so, let me ask you this, America. If you don't have credit, do they take advantage of you? Yes, they do. Trust me. I was in the finance industry. I saw people signing up for 27% loans, 24% loans. It's criminal what they will do to you if you do not have credit in the United States of America. So if you have it, take advantage of it. Utilize it. Build something amazing with it, and look at us, 4 years later, and the trips we've taken and everything we've done, and it was all on other people. We built the whole thing on somebody else's money. So thank you, Citibank. But there really is very, very powerful offers out there right now, and you got to understand, a lot of people that you're talking to, they see that tag, that first price tag, and it's shocking to them. They say, God, I mean, yeah, it looks amazing, but man, that's a lot of money. Well, you know what? Everybody's got $44 a month. Everybody's got $44 a month, man. If you show the value of this machine and they can't see the value in $44 a month, that's probably not somebody that's ready to be in your life anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we're literally talking about a tank of gas.
Amen. Yeah. And more than that for a tank of gas for me. I know that.
Yeah, right?
So everybody out there, something about what we've just been talking about. And Dan, I would love it if next month when you come in for the first Tuesday of the month, I would love to have a show just talking about credit options, showing people how they can make this happen. Because if they don't know, they don't know. We got to teach them, right?
Right.
That's what we're here to do. We're here to teach people. We're here to open doors. We're here to educate. We're here to change the world. And that's what we're doing. And it is happening. And something that you just mentioned, Dan, that's something that, clear back in the 90s when I read this book, it's one of the main things is there's three main things: other people's ideas, other people's efforts, and other people's money. Those are three things that every successful person out there on planet Earth uses.
Right.
Why not use other people's efforts, other people's ideas, and other people's money? And then as far as I can see, and as far as I've learned over my 53 years of youth, is that this is the most amazing idea. This is the most amazing efforts. Why not use other people's money to make it happen? It's crazy. This company is so absolutely mind-bogglingly incredible that every single day I'm pinching myself and going, whoa, with all the things that have happened to me over the last year, this is the blessing. This is the blessing that because I've had a bunch of things happen that have not been blessings at all. They've been really bad things, bad decisions I made. But on every bit of it, I get to fall back to this. This is the one thing that has been true, that hasn't just been an empty promise, an empty bunch of nonsense, an empty bunch of, yeah, you'll do this and that and everything else. And then as soon as you pay them the money, they're gone like the wind, like a fart in the wind, And here we have a Nagic 45 years later, rocking the house and providing the most incredible thing that I've personally ever seen in my life. And people don't necessarily want to understand it or grasp it, but boy, I'll tell you, I'm going to be here doing the best I can to share it with them.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Daniel D. McCauley says it best. I mean, he came from a company where he was already doing incredibly well. And he said, I looked at everything and I spent more money probably than anybody looking at everything. And he always says it best. A Nagic didn't have them then and they don't have them now. There's no holes. There's nothing. You can say what you want, but if you do the research, the water is not on trial. The company's not on trial. The only thing that's on trial is people's thought process, but there is no holes. I mean, I sell a machine in Serbia and I get paid the same way I do in Seattle, and it happens at the exact same time. I am telling you that they are so tried and true when it comes to every bit of their process. And that's, and then that's another thing that I've always heard is nobody, even if somebody came along with something the same or better, nobody will have the infrastructure. I mean, do you know what it's like for me to know? I mean, I will literally have a guy in Louisiana and a guy in Texas, and the guy in Louisiana will send me a text and go, oh, right on, man, got my check today. And an hour later, the guy in Oklahoma says the same thing. And I know when I walk into my mailbox that on that same deal, my check's going to be there. They are so perfect in so many ways. And the thing is, if I do walk out that day and it's not there, I would bet my left arm it's there the next day, and it is. I mean, it is so unbelievable the way that they pay, the structure. If you ever have a problem or an issue and you call that office, I mean, it is just, the infrastructure will never be duplicated. And the thing is, if you saw in San Diego the strength of this and the growing that it's doing, we're going to sell more machines in the next 5 years than we have in the previous 45.
Yes.
And this isn't.
I've got a question from the live side from a gentleman named Alex Rubio. I'm not sure where Alex came from, but he's part of the Kong family. He says, I would like to finance an Anespa and an Yukon. What would be my best option? So
if Alex has good credit, there's a couple different conversations. You can actually go to, here's what I tell people. You can go to Chase 0% credit card. A little link pops up. You click on that link. You scroll down about 2 inches. It'll say learn more. You click that, and up right there pops an apply button. If Alex doesn't have, and if he has good credit, he can also go to Wells. He can contact me in Messenger, and I can send him to the best avenue for his credit. But even if Alex doesn't have credit, and this is something I wanted to speak of too, because I don't want anybody to see this and go, yeah, but they're talking about money and they're talking about credit and I don't have those things. You know, Enagic has made it possible for every single person on the planet to own one of these devices because they know how important it is to get the name of Enagic out there, and they know that nobody's going to have this device in their life and not share it. So even if Alex has zero credit or bad credit, anybody with a bank account can obtain a product through Enagic financing. And you can go on to, and he can contact me through Messenger if he's not aware of how that works. But anybody can go and do Enagic financing on any device. And if he has great credit, there's tons of options. Wells, Citibank, Chase, it's almost endless.
Yeah. You know, for another thing to add to that, Alex, is that I know there's a website out there. It's called creditcards.com. And you can go to creditcards.com and they've got a little tab up there that says 0% interest cards. And you can click on that tab and it shows you what everybody's got going on. It shows you Wells Fargo and Citibank and Discover and all their terms and time limits and everything. And so you can check that out as well, Alex.
And Alex, if you have, if you're like, yeah, but they're talking about 0% and I have decent credit, but I'm not great credit, contact me on Messenger. I've got 2 avenues they can send you to. They do charge you a little fee, but what they do is they'll stretch it out a little bit longer. And I've just never been, you know, met anybody that was upset about getting a spa for $73 a month. And, and then so, contact me. They're very upfront about what they do charge you, but they do that because somebody may have a little bit less than stellar credit. So there is going to be interest involved. But the thing is, if it's something you're looking at for structure to supplement your business or thing like that, it's going to pay for itself 10 times over. So there's really good ways to shop out there. That's why we're here, to try and educate and let people know that those avenues are out there, because there's a lot of people out there that want a KONGen water machine that don't think they can afford it, and they're dead wrong. And we want the information to get out there to people.
Yes, amen. And gosh, if you've got something or whatever, I'd love to do a show just on financing. Maybe it won't be a whole hour long. Maybe it'll only be a half an hour or something like that. But like I said, anything we can do, because my goal is to have somebody in here and be trying to get some information out, some sort of value 7 days a week. And it's turned out to be quite the daunting task, but it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely worth all the effort. And it's an incredible blessing, not only to me, but the entire family. And in my opinion, it's something that I'm so deeply heartfelt about this that I can't help it. I've got Kong on the brain. What do I do?
Well, I want to leave with this for the people that are maybe don't think they have the money or don't have the good credit. I want people to understand that, JV Pacifico, who's considered the godfather of Enagic, had nothing. A lot of the leaders that you saw in San Diego, a lot of the top people in this company started off in a very, very, very poor financial situation. JV Pacifico specifically, probably 85%, 90% of the KONGen machines sold in the entire planet trace back under JV's umbrella of business. KONGen Joe, who's my -4 upline, financed a machine on Enagic financing. He's now a -4. He has multiple -3s of underneath him, including his wife. I mean, you're talking about massive, massive, massive amounts of income created from nothing. And so the nice thing is, not only do they let everybody in, but they give everybody the same opportunity. There can be somebody on here watching this that doesn't even know that they can afford a machine, and 2 years from now, they can be making a lot more money than I am. Because Enagic also doesn't stifle your opportunity. So the thing is, if you think you're a less than and all that stuff and the opportunity is not for you, you don't know. Because I'll tell you what, there's people that are coming into this thing and making a large amount of money coming in through Enagic financing. Not everybody comes in here already, doing whatever they wanted in their life. A lot of people find this and excel in this because they are poor, smart, and hungry.
Yes. Amen, brother. Wow, what an awesome show today, Dan. Thank you, Liz, too. Thank you guys so much for taking your valuable time to educate our audience.
Appreciate it, man.
It has been getting recorded. It's going to be going later on this evening when I get home from working on this tile job. I'll get this thing uploaded. I might be too beat. I might do it in the morning, but whatever. I'll get it up and I'll get you the link. so that everybody can share this out. And, you know, I'm just so thankful to you guys for everything you've done to help build the Kong family show, to help bring people in. You've been a huge, huge asset, and I love you guys so much. And it was just such an awesome thing getting to give you a real hug over in San Diego.
Hey, JJ, before we go, Liz has started working on something, and well, I'll just let her tell you. So.
I know there's a lot of distributors out there that feel left behind or abandoned or whatever. So I just started a YouTube channel for distributors, teaching people how to hook up a machine. I only have like 4 videos on there, but one of them is this, what we just showed, the compensation and structure. So the YouTube channel is KONGen Culture with a C TV. And you can go on there and see the structure over and over again, or, you know, how to hook up a machine, how to change an NSPA filter. And we're uploading new videos every day to support distributors or people who are new to Enagic, make sure they feel supported.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's what this is all about as well. You know, we just want to make sure that people that are out there, that they have the support they need. And, you know, I've said this multitudes of times here on the show, that I don't care where people get their machine from. I just care that they get their machine. And I've had people come and get water from me and then go buy their machine from somebody else because they got mad at my upline, whatever. I just told them, hey, congratulations. I'm happy for you that you got your machine. I'm here. If you ever need any help, don't hesitate to reach out, because I'm here to help. And the money is a secondary thing. It's something that we all need, but some people it's more important than others. And money is not the most important driving factor in my life. It's definitely something I need, but it's not what drives me. What drives me is changing people's lives. And this right here, this is the most life-changing thing I've ever seen. There's nothing that I've ever done in all the years I've been trying to find something where I've had somebody up calling me, crying, thanking me for changing their life for the better. I've never had that before. This is the only.
And a month before that, they didn't even want to talk to you about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's been my experience. I've gone in before, like literally where the husband is like, "What are you doing here?" I have a great example. I have a lady. She trifected in and actually bought 2 spas. She doesn't want to do it. She's a very large real estate agent here. And the husband was there the day I was delivering the equipment. And I'm like, man, your husband does not look like this. She's like, he is not happy with you. I mean, we know what her ticket was, right? K8, Ukon, 2 spas, put it on a card. He was not a happy camper. She asked me for something about 45 days later, and I met her in the parking lot and then delivered her some stuff. And I go, God, one of these days I'd really like for your husband to understand. She goes, oh my God, my husband loves you. He talks about you every day. You just can't believe, you know, and I mean, that's the best feeling, man, when you can get through somebody's, you know, they don't know what they're saying no to, but when you can really have that experience from that Heisman stiff arm to, I mean, that's what me and Liz tell people. We go, you know, after 45 days, the people you talk with about this and end up putting it in their homes, they don't shake your hand, man. They hug you. And, you know, it's the best feeling in the world when you take somebody from that place to a place where they just love this device, won't do anything. I mean, their kids are, you know, I've had the moms that, oh, no, my kids don't need to see the demo. They don't drink water. And I go back 2 months later to do their first cleaning for them, and they're going, oh my God, my kids will not leave that machine alone. It's the best thing we ever did, you know, and it's an amazing feeling. That's what it's all about.
Yes, it is.
So, yes. So we're good. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and we hope you guys got some value.
Yes, the value was awesome today. And, you know, the value every day is here, and we're bringing it because, once again, we are the Kong family, and we're here with our really simple mission. We just want to change the world. And we're going to change the world. It's happening. It's happening every single day. It's happening. 1 glass, 9.5, hydrogen rich, oxygen saturated, incredibly hydrating. KONGen water, 9.5.
Alex Rios, go out and get that spa. Best decision you'll ever make. Yes, do yourself a favor, man.
I'm going to go get that spa. I've got to get that. That's just another part of it. Like I said, I wish I would have known about it in the beginning. I would have had it 2.5 years ago. But
you're ready to receive now, though.
Yeah, good point.
You're in the right place. You're at the right time now, and now you know how you're going to turn it all around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you what, it'll be the best $32 a month you've ever spent in your life.
Man. All right, kids, I love you guys so much. Have
Thanks,
an
you guys.
awesome rest of the day. And tomorrow we got Sam Tran coming in for some more of his awesome sauce. And we'll see you guys on the next shows, or for sure next month, the first Tuesday of every month, kids. Dan comes in with Liz, and they offer nothing but awesome sauce, just like today. So,
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
so much for visiting. Don't forget your hugs. And
Have a
your
great day.
love you, kids. Make it a
Love you
great day.
too.
Thanks, man. Appreciate everything.
Bye for now.